Let's execute an immediate high-gear tactical vector shift away from period frontier rebellions and step directly onto the hyper-volatile, calculation-heavy tracking grids of elite dystopian academy life, weaponized social media metrics, and high-frequency reverse-harem dynamics. We are crossing the threshold into the brutal, glittering prison cells of the elite with Sauter, the exceptional rapid-pulsing 13th entry that serves as a terminal structural milestone for the Ironside Academy series by the reigning sovereign of slow-burn paranormal romance, Jane Washington. This standalone deployment delivers a thrilling look at a desperate operational crossroad where corporate broadcast manipulation, dark Omegaverse hierarchy politics, and intense interpersonal alpha bonds collide at terminal velocity. Let's lay out the strategic narrative grid. If you are a fan of high-octane, slow-burn fantasy romances where a rare, resilient protagonist must navigate an absolute maze of deadly viral scrutiny, predatory institutional handlers, and a massive unit of 10 elite alpha protectors while running an aggressive social media survival loop where an analytical mind uses deep empathy tracking, psychological misdirection, and broadcast strategy to survive a public coliseum, and where the author utilizes an incandescent, pretty little prison behind the cameras routine to test our hero's structural survival perimeters, this book is engineered to lock you in. Washington completely dominates the dystopian pop noir dynamic, capturing the heart-racing emotional momentum, suffocating public exposure, and unyielding psychological claustrophobia popularized by genre vanguards like Jay Bree, Caroline Peckham, Suzanne Valenti, and Lexi C. Foss, while treating reverse-harem mechanics, supernatural cast dynamics, and elite media-driven tier structures with absolute technical mastery. The narrative tracking grid zeroes in on our central protagonist axis, Isobel Carter. She is the ultimate blueprint of psychological resilience, a rare, unyielding sigma operating under a strict calculation-heavy routine to survive inside the cutthroat walls of Ironside Academy. Her daily workspace is a highly televised, fiercely competitive ecosystem of live broadcast sets, performance stages, and the predatory viral gaze of millions of online viewers. Her internal defense mechanisms are locked down tight behind a quiet, guarded demeanor, her entire analytical focus strictly consumed by monitoring her unique empathetic radar, parsing lethal academy contracts, and guarding her fragile personal sanity from the relentless tracking sensors of the school's corrupt directors. The spark ignites as the fragile illusions of salvation completely shatter, unmasking the Academy as a gilded, calculation-heavy cage designed to reduce her to a mere puppet behind a digital screen. The official diagnostic metrics indicate a total systemic escalation. Her childhood friends are transforming into bitter adversaries, while her established enemies evolve into true dark state villains. But her internal monitoring system registers that she isn't entirely defenseless against this incoming structural purge. The fiercely protective, hyper-focused alphas of Dorm A, including the formidable, calculation-heavy protective assets Theo, Oscar, Kalen, and Makel, are actively aligning their defensive perimeters to heighten her public performances and shield her from the administrative meat grinder. The tactical parameters instantly explode as the social media game turns completely lethal, transforming the gilded corridors of Dorm A into a chaotic psychological pressure cooker. A resilient Sigma is forced to deploy her massive intuitive tradecraft, emotional mapping skills, and raw survival stamina to navigate a maze of weaponized publicity tours and corporate contracts. When corrupt academy officials, rival student factions, and calculation-heavy media algorithms launch aggressive efforts to breach her defensive buffer, Isabel's survival instincts engage their final deployment tracks. Every midnight strategy meeting with her 10 alphas, every silent choice to let her face flood with color for the live feed, and every dirty, compromised maneuver required to keep her team alive chips away at her reliance on standard moral frameworks. Sigmas don't keep their hands clean. They get absolutely filthy to survive the purge. What follows is an exceptional, high-stakes war of perspective, public branding, and raw human grit. We watch Ironside's dark underbelly completely unwrapped as Washington reveals that the true threat isn't just an individual alpha rival, it is a massive, multi-tiered institutional trap, executing a total tracking audit of their beautiful, brutal secrets. While Isobel and her alphas smooth over each other's tactical blind spots with devastating analytical force, a series of high-frequency public confrontations shifts the clock into its terminal phase, proving that the executioners are pulling the strings tighter than ever. To survive the impending lockdown
locked grid trap and outmaneuver the forces running the show, our resilient heroine must unleash an absolute, unyielding defense of her pack. It is an Omegaverse romance, Paranormal Academy, dystopian thriller, high-velocity white shoes drama masterpiece that treats deep psychological logistics and intense emotional friction with elite precision. The tension here burns with a sharp, calculation-heavy intensity. We are talking about that high-frequency, one bad stream means an instant public execution energy, where a sudden drop in viewer engagement metrics, an unexpected shift in an alpha's protective sense profile, or a heavy, possessive realization that the cameras have caught a glimpse of your darkest structural vulnerability carries massive structural weight. Washington writes with an exceptionally fresh, vivid, and beautifully blunt voice, perfectly capturing the sterile, fluorescent hum of high-tech production booths, the oppressive, sticky tension of an alpha pack's living quarters, and the distinct, subtle scent of cedarwood, rain, ozone, fresh mint, and pure, unadulterated suspense. What truly elevates this milestone paranormal reverse harem thriller into elite territory is the author's unmatched ability to balance intricate, multi-character romantic balancing acts and genuine dystopian world-building alongside a breathtaking narrative pace and deep emotional hooks. Our protagonist doesn't rely on unbelievable, superficial Hollywood action tropes. Her immense emotional intelligence, strategic patience, and profound survival instincts match the complexity of the chaotic academic underworld she dominates step for step, making her choices to risk everything feel profoundly authentic and deeply gripping. The pacing moves with calculated momentum, tracking intense newsroom-style standoffs and breathtaking forensic breakthroughs before ratcheting up to an absolute jaw-dropping final exposure that delivers total, hard-earned closure to her horizon. Sauter is the definitive pro-level upgrade your high-stakes paranormal suspense and contemporary reverse harem fiction library demands right now. It is elegant, immensely fast-paced, and utterly unputtable. It proves that when your entire sanctuary is targeted by a cold, calculating institutional monster, the most revolutionary play you can execute is to trust your pack, manipulate the algorithm, and fight like hell to survive the broadcast. So secure your personal reading sanctuary, review your emotional defensive perimeters, open your Kindle, and prepare to track the game.